Hello and welcome to StudyIQ. In this lecture, we will discuss about legal tender. The term legal tender has become more common after the demonetization drive. If you notice, what happened during demonetization was that the status of legal tender was cancelled. So the term legal tender became more popular and more common after the demonetization drive. And also, if you see the UPSC Civil Services Preliminary Examination 2018 GS1 paper, there was a question regarding the definition of legal tender. So in that question, 4 options were given and the candidate had to choose the right definition of legal tender. So in this video, we will be discussing about legal tender and also we will discuss what are the other types of money in the market. So let us start. There are many modes of exchange in the market. So if you look at the market, there will be many modes of exchange. In the ancient times, history says that salt and spices were used as currencies. So that was in the ancient times. And as time moved, we came to a system known as the barter system. Barter system is a system in which you exchange commodities for commodities. So there is no use of money or currency in the barter system. So you exchange or you give commodities and buy commodities. So it was a exchange of commodities in the barter system. And later on came the use of money as a medium of exchange. So our point of discussion here is legal tender, or what is legal tender. So let us see what is a legal tender. So legal tender is defined as the money which is accepted by the law of the land for the settlement of debt or for the payment of debt. So one thing is, it is accepted by the law of the land. And second point, for the payment of debt. So what is meant by law of the land? We live in a country called India. So in India, what is the law of the land? Whatever law is followed by the country. So the government or the country, the public in the country should accept it. So one condition is the money should be accepted by the law of the land or the government of that particular country. So it becomes a legal tender when the money is accepted by the law of the land. For what? For the payment of debt. In order to settle transactions or conduct transactions, this money should be accepted by the law of the land or the government of the particular country. So money becomes a legal tender only when it is accepted by the law of the land or the government of the particular country. So if the government says if a particular currency is not a legal tender, that means the currency have no value. It merely becomes a piece of paper. According to the RBI Act of 1934, RBI Act 1934, this act says that the central bank of the country has the sole authority to issue currency notes. So which means RBI is the sole authority to issue currency notes in India. And according to the RBI Act of 1934, the Act also says that every note that is issued by the Reserve Bank of India in the country shall be legal tender anywhere in the country. Which means whatever notes is issued by the Reserve Bank of India, it is a legal tender in any place in India. Which means it should be acceptable or the money is recognized by the law of the land. Which means it is compulsory to accept that money. If a money is a legal tender, the creditor have to accept the money. So there is a compulsion for the creditor to accept the money. Let us see that in detail. If we take the legal tender money, there are 2 types of legal tender. One is a limited legal tender and the second one is unlimited legal tender. Limited and unlimited. Coming to limited legal tender, what is limited legal tender? This money is accepted only till a particular limit. So there is a limit for the acceptance of that particular currency or money. If we take an example of limited legal tender, an example is 50 paise coins. So 50 paise coins is a legal tender only up to 10 rupees. So you can pay 50 paise coins up to 10 rupees and after that amount it is not compulsory for the creditor to accept it. So for example, if you go to a shop and if you purchase something for rupees 20 and you are giving 50 paise coins. So the shopkeeper says that he cannot accept 50 paise coins. So what you will do? You will have to give something else. So up to rupees 10, it is compulsory for the shopkeeper to accept your 50 paise coins. So after that, it is not compulsory for the shopkeeper to accept. So what you will have to do is, you can give 50 paise coins and then after that you will have to give some other sums. So that is the case of limited legal tender, which means up to a limit it is a legal tender, and after that particular limit it does not become a legal tender. So example is 50 paise coins. And what about unlimited legal tender? Unlimited legal tender is offered for payment of dues of any size. So any size. For example, 10 rupee note. If you make a purchase of rupees 1000 and you are giving the shopkeeper 100 10 rupee notes, it is compulsory for the shopkeeper to accept the 10 rupee note. He cannot say that, no, I cannot accept such smaller denominations. You will have to give me denominations of 100 rupees and more. No, he cannot say that. 10 rupee is a legal tender. It is an unlimited legal tender and he is obliged to accept that 10 rupee notes from you. So that is the case with unlimited legal tender. And another example, if you make a purchase of rupees 20 and you are giving 2000 rupee note to a shopkeeper, that also he cannot deny, because 2000 rupee note is also a legal tender. And this was the question that was asked in the UPSC preliminary examination last week. The question was, what is the definition? And the answer option which was correct was that it is compulsory for the creditor to accept a legal tender money. And during demonetization, we have seen that the status of legal tender of 500 and 1000 rupee notes were cancelled. And why is the cancellation of legal tender status very important? Let us see that now. So we know that we use notes, currency notes, and currency notes are merely pieces of paper, and these pieces of paper derive all its value from government recognition. We said that the money becomes legal tender when it is accepted by the law of the land. So the piece of paper which we use as currency notes, they derive the value from the government recognition. So for a piece of paper to function as a medium of exchange and a store of value, it needs acceptance from the general public. So this acceptance is ensured by the government. How is it ensured? The government declares such currency notes as legal tender. So declaration as a legal tender is an insurance from the part of the government. So when the government cancels the legal tender status of currency, what happens? The currency loses its value. It becomes merely pieces of paper. It cannot be used in transactions or as a medium of exchange. So that is what exactly happened during demonetization period. And if we look at the demonetization also, it is not a rare incident that happened only in India. The largest demonetization in the world happened in the year 1999 when the European Union was formed. So what happened during European Union formation was that the member countries of the European Union demonetized their countries' currencies in order to accept euro from 2002. So from 2002 they came to a conclusion of using a common currency, that is the euro. So what they had to do, the members of the European Union had to demonetize the currencies of their particular countries and come to a common currency in 2002, that is the euro. So this was the largest demonetization in the world. Again, coming to another example, in 1990s, Australia also had undergone a demonetization. So during 1990s, Australia withdrew its paper currencies and replaced them with polymer currencies and replaced it with polymer notes. So this is another example of demonetization. Now let us quickly see what are the types of money. The first type of money is full-bodied money. In case of full-bodied money, the value as a currency or as money will be equal to the value as a commodity. Value as money will be equal to value as commodity. For example, earlier we had gold coins or gold currencies. So which means if that particular currency is for 500 rupees, it is a 500 rupee coin, the value of that coin as a commodity also will be equal to 500 rupees. Maybe currencies that are made up of precious metals like gold, silver, etc. Such currencies, the value of that particular currency as money will be some amount, and that amount will be equal to that as a commodity also. Example is gold coins or gold currencies, silver currencies, etc. Second type of money is token money, which is also known as credit money or paper money. So here in token money, value as money or as a currency will be more than value as commodity. Example is currency notes. So if we take the example of currency notes, a 500 rupee currency note will have a value of 500 as a money. But if we consider that currency note as a commodity, it is merely a piece of paper. It has no value. So, as a money, it will have higher value compared to as a commodity. That is token money, which is also known as credit money or paper money. Third type of money is convertible money or non-convertible money. So, convertible money means money that can be converted into equivalent value of bullion by the issuing authority. Issuing authority is the RBI in case of India. So, by the issuing authority, this can be converted into equivalent amount of bullion, and the opposite of this is non-convertible money, which cannot be converted into equivalent value of bullion. Next type is legal tender money, which we have already explained. Next is non-legal tender money or optional money. Non-legal tender or optional money. One thing you must understand here is that non-legal tender money or optional money is different from that of limited legal tender money. So, if we take an example of optional money, this will be clear when I explain it with an example. If we take the border areas, for example, let us take the Uttar Pradesh border. So, from the Uttar Pradesh border, it is easy to access Nepal market. So, what happens is that since there is a porous border and it is easily accessible for both the countries, from India, people will go to Nepal's market, and from Nepal also people will come to Indian market. So on the basis of some trust or mutual understanding, sometimes Indian currency or Indian rupee is acceptable in Nepal, and also Nepalese rupee is acceptable in India also. But it is not legal tender, which means it is not compulsory for a Nepal shopkeeper or merchant to accept Indian money or Indian rupee, and vice versa. So it is not a legal tender or it is not compulsory, it is optional. So that is non-legal tender money or optional money. It is not compulsory, it is optional for the creditor to accept the money. Next is fiduciary money. Fiduciary money is a type of money which circulates on the basis of mutual trust or personal trust. So trust is a factor and there is no legal backing. So there is no legal backing. This circulates on the basis of trust factor. Next is fiat money. So fiat money circulates on the fiat or order issued by the government. So all the money that is issued by the government is a fiat money. That means the money circulates on the basis of an order or the fiat of the government. Next is an important concept, that is near money. What is meant by near money? Near money refers to highly liquid financial assets. So what is meant by highly liquid or liquidity? Liquidity means the ease at which you can convert something into money or equivalent. So if you are able to convert something into money very easily without losing much time or losing value, you can call that particular commodity or product as highly liquid product. The ease at which you can convert it into money or equivalent is known as liquidity. So highly liquid financial assets are known as near money. What are the examples of near money then? Checks, draft, bond, etc. are near money, which means they can be easily converted into money. So examples are check, draft, shares or bonds. Next type of money is deposit money. Deposit money refers to the money that is deposited with the banks or financial institutions. So whatever money is deposited with banks and financial institutions, they are known as deposit money. Next one is plastic money. So plastic money refers to debit card or credit card. So these are the types of money, and legal tender is a very important concept, not only on the basis of demonetization, but you must clearly understand what is a legal tender and what happens if the legal tender status gets cancelled.